Once the validation plan has been completed by a VVB, as previously defined with the holder or developer, it shall upload the following into ECO Registry: the VVB Declaration of Conflict of Interest, the Validation Report, including a Findings Report as applicable, the Validation Statement. Then, the validation stage must be signed. Following the main elements such documents shall include are highlighted. Is the PDD assessment document issued by a VVB, which shall comply with requirements as established in Validation Report section of Cercarbono's Procedures document. It shall include CCMP name, client name and identification, the client being the holder of the validation contract, CCMP ownership evidence and location, a disclaimer indicating the client is responsible for the preparation and presentation of the CCMP's PDD in accordance with the validation process requirements, validation scope, CCMP lifespan or useful life and justification thereof, accreditation period and justification, a statement indicating the VVB is responsible for stating an opinion on the CCMP based on the validation process, description of evidence collection procedures employed for PDD assessment, description of selected methodologies, description of baseline scenario, estimated GHG emissions, removals in the baseline and project scenarios during CCMP's crediting period, date and location for site visits, remote virtual visits, a summary of the validation statement, report date, validation opinion based on collected evidence during the validation process, which could be positive, not modified opinion. It is stated sufficient and appropriate evidence exists to support estimations of GHG emissions and removals, reductions. Negative opinion. It is concluded there is not sufficient or appropriate evidence to support either a positive or a modified opinion, given criteria to support estimations of GHG emissions and removals, reductions, have not been properly applied. Name of the validator or validation team staff. Location and validator or VVB representative signature. 2 validation report templates can be found in the documentation section of Cercarbono's webpage. One intended for the land use sector and other for sectors other than land use. While these templates are optional for VVBs to use, Cercarbono assesses compliance with all elements therein included. Is the document referring the validation report, containing a unilateral statement declaring the VVB has validated compliance of the CCMP with validation process requirements and has issued a positive or modified opinion. According to ISO/IEC 17029, 2019 standard, it shall include the following information: VVB name and logo, client name and identification, CCMP name including related activity, GHG emissions removal or reduction. A disclaimer indicating stated results are the sole responsibility of the client. CCMP location and total area as applicable. The sector in which the CCMP is developed. A description on ISO 14064 standard implementation, including the version used. Declaration regarding VVB's compliance with accreditation criteria according to ISO 14064 standard, including the version used. A description of the criteria under which the validation has been carried out, methodology tools, Cercarbono's protocol, among others. Identification of criteria used by the VVB. A list of all audited documentation. Validation's level of assurance. CCMP's lifespan or useful life from day, month, year to day, month, year. Accreditation or renewal period granted from day, month, year to day, month, year. Annual total GHG emissions and removals. Reductions disaggregation during CCMP's accreditation period. Annual net GHG emissions and removals. Reductions disaggregation during CCMP's accreditation period, as estimated or projected in baseline and project scenarios during the accreditation period and throughout CCMP duration, or useful life including amounts assigned for carbon reserve, as applicable. Validation statement issuance date, day, month, year. Location and signature of the validator or the lead validator. It is important to note, a validation statement may only be issued when the VVB has generated a positive or modified opinion. 2 validation statement templates can be found in the documentation section of Cercarbono's webpage, one intended for the land use sector and other for sectors other than land use. Once the VVB has uploaded the above described documentation, the validation stage signature may proceed. After the validation stage has been signed, an email notification is sent to Cercarbono's technical team, which perform a documentation review to approve the validation stage for the subject CCMP. In case Cercarbono has findings in the process, change requests to the uploaded CCMP documents in Eco-Registry for this stage are issued, which is managed through Eco-Registry. Such requests shall be addressed by the VVB or the holder or developer and managed through Eco-Registry. Once the CCMP holder or developer or VVB have addressed the subject change requests and Cercarbono considers they are okay, the validation stage is considered as concluded. Finally, change requests in Eco-Registry are presented as follows. Cercarbono Certified Carbon Standard.